I have trauma with malted milk
That
that
feels like
I think
a
talk about on the podcast.
Nan biscuit.
It's a man biscuit.
No, Nan. Nan biscuit.
Nan! I was like...
To go into a room full of like really kind of henchmen is just like, whoa.
We have very different reactions to those spaces.
To have these moments where you just feel right. I mean, for decades, I probably looked right to the world, but I didn't fit. And now suddenly, I maybe don't look right to the world, but oh my God, do I fit? And it's just incredible.
Welcome to Thighs, Fries and Gay Guys, where we talk fitness, feelings, fries and everything in between. Hello and welcome to Thighs, Fries and Gay Guys. I am Matt Print. I am the creator of The Everyday Gay, but you may not know I am also a Zumba instructor, and actually that is my route into fitness. Today I am joined by the fabulous Fiona.
Good morning.
Hello. So, Fiona is a member of my Fitness with Matt community. She comes to my Zumba classes, and we met 2 years ago, is it?
Yeah, getting on for that now. Yeah,
So-
almost 2 years ago.
Tell the people, how did we meet?
So we met because basically I was looking for something to just get back into fitness, and there was a sort of lovely LGBTQ plus health and wellbeing fair at the yard.
There was.
And I thought, oh, I'm just going to go along and see what's there. And just suddenly it was just like, I met Matt, and yeah, he talked to me about Zumba for a bit, and I thought, I need some Zumba in my life.
But was there something specific you were kind of like looking for, or you just seeing what was there? Like,
Yeah, I think so. And we'll probably talk about it a bit more in a minute. But I'd been someone who had done a lot of exercise, and then basically I came out about 4 years ago, having maybe sat on it for 50 years and thought about it. I didn't rush into this decision.
yes.
But I
took your
came out, and it was amazing to me how almost overnight my relationship with exercise changed, because suddenly I went from like doing lots and lots and lots of exercise to I don't want to do that anymore. And so after a while I thought, actually I'm in my 50s, I probably ought to do something. And so then there's this question of like, oh well, I'm out and I'm trans and I'm visibly trans now. Where the hell do I go to do exercise? And so when I saw that event, it was like, oh, okay, safe space.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's like, safe space. I can just go and explore and see what's there. And
What was your relationship like with fitness before you came out then? Because you brought it up, so I'm allowed to go now. So we may as well go there because you just mentioned it.
I think so since how far back you want to go. So if we go back to being a kid, my relationship with exercise was probably the same as a lot of other queer kids, which is like, I don't like football.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was like, just no sports as a kid kind of landed with me. I think because I was never going to fit into that kind of butch football boys, and then to go to secondary school and your choices were like rugby, hockey or cricket.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's something where you're getting flattened. Here's something where you're getting hit with a stick. Here's something where there's ball flight. It's like, no thanks.
Yeah.
So I think growing up, there was no kind of sense of like, I'm into exercise.
Yeah, of course.
And then as I sort of got a bit older, I started to get into things that were sort of more enjoyable. So like basically like mountaineering and rock climbing and things like that I absolutely enjoyed. And so fitness came as a sort of byproduct of that, which was like, if I'm going to spend all day in the mountains, I need to be a bit fitter. So I started getting into running a little bit, just to get fitter initially. But I think that's when it started to change, was this kind of thing of like, oh, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
And so I started, so I need to do a half marathon and I need to do this, and it just gets further and further. And then I ended up doing a marathon, and I'm running 4 times a week and long runs at weekends of like 16 miles or something, and thinking, oh, this is good. I'm really fit. But I think what it was really about looking back on it now, there was very much a sense of using exercise to kind of just do things like calm the body, because endorphins are good.
Yeah, they feel
if you're
great.
stressed, people, if you're suffering from stress and anxiety, exercise is good. But I think I took it too far because it was about taking control of my body in a way that said, actually, I'm in charge of this. Whereas actually, growing up trans, you don't feel in charge of your body. You don't feel like this is your body. And so exercise became this kind of way of just saying, I'm in control. And I think that there's a fine line between that and going into like punishing it.
Yeah.
Being too much about like punishing your body.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's getting a bit heavy, but
it's not getting heavy. We had spoken about this before, and you were saying it was very much because you didn't feel at home in your body. It was some kind of way to punish it.
Yeah,
I don't know if you'd say it like that.
No, I would. I absolutely would. And I look back now at the things I did, and I was doing a lot of running, and I was getting into running. Like I say, I did a marathon. I did long runs all the time. And then I got injured and I couldn't do that. So it's like, well, I have to do something. So I started swimming.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, great. Well, if I'm swimming and I'm running, I must be able to do a triathlon. And it's always like pushing it to the next level. So then it was like, oh, I'll get a bike and I'll do triathlons. And I got into that more. And then I kind of realized, I like the bike. So I got into cycling more. And that just followed the same pattern. It went out from being like, oh, I can go out and have a nice ride, to suddenly it's like 100-mile ride.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, it's taking up too much of my times. But then it was like, I got into like racing on the velodrome, which sounds like incredibly butch. I mean, it sounds incredibly butch, but I was never doing it to be butch. I was doing it because it was like these sort of slightly terrifying situations, like hurtling around a track that's like 45-degree banking and you've got no brakes and you've got like 20 people around you and it's just like chaos. But there was something for me, like the same thing I found with like rock climbing and mountaineering, is like when you're in these moments of terror that should be frightening and you can take control, like being at the eye of the storm is really powerful.
Yeah.
But not necessarily good for you, as I found out. I had a huge accident on the velodrome and, that kind of was just the point where it's like, maybe need to calm this down. I ended up with like a fractured pelvis and a broken collarbone and 2 months off work. With the cycling and the racing, I'd be training like 5 days a week and very structured, but not in an enjoyable way. I think I started to suck the enjoyment out of exercise. Yeah. And that, when I came out, was literally overnight. Was like, I don't want to hurt myself anymore.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah. And it was very much about the relationship with the body changing when I said, this is me.
Yeah. So we've spoken about kind of your relationship with exercise and how that was an attempt to control this body you didn't feel at home in before you came out. Are there any other aspects of life that you're like trying to control or punish your body like? Because sometimes if people are like that with their exercise, it can also bleed into other areas in terms of like food and nutrition, because people can get super obsessive over it, I guess.
Yeah, I sort of came into it. So another reason for sort of getting into exercise was to actually sort of take a bit more control over my diet and my eating, in the sense that to do that kind of exercise, I had to start eating properly.
Of course.
Which kind of suggests I maybe wasn't eating properly before that. So, yeah, I have a complicated history with food, shall we say.
Okay.
Basically, I ended up in I was anorexic.
Okay.
And I would say, in a way, I still am. I still have kind of chaotic eating habits.
Okay.
And I used exercise to try and sort of say, well, if you're going to do this kind of level of exercise, you have to feed yourself.
Okay.
And so coming back from like that level of exercise, it's been quite difficult in sort of negotiating food.
Because you feel like you haven't
Because,
got
like,
this outlet for the energy.
I got used to eating like staggering amounts of carbs
Yeah.
and calories because I was doing like huge endurance exercise, go for like 5-6 hours kind of thing. I know, it's like, so now it's like trying to sort of relearn how to eat after that level of exercise, but also dealing with a sort of slightly older body as well.
Yes.
You know,
Of course.
it's quite interesting now to have to sort of really think about what I eat in terms of the amounts, the quality of the food. Suddenly it's like, you know, you get to a certain age and things just don't work the same. So suddenly I'm like having blood tests and someone say your cholesterol's way too high, and I'm like, you look at me and think, well, no.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of worked on this principle, like, but I do loads of exercise, so I can eat anything. And sort of trying to renegotiate that now and think, oh, what is a healthy diet is quite it's quite hard work.
Oh, it is hard work because I guess, you know, for many years people just focus in terms of, okay, am I eating too much or too little energy for my body composition? Am I gaining weight? Am I losing weight? So it's always just about the numbers. And I guess as we get older, we think more about, like you've said, the quality. It's like, oh, actually, my joints need some like healthy oily fats to help keep them lubricated. It's all this kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, I can imagine it's a minefield, but it's really interesting that almost exercise had a positive impact on eating in terms of when you're doing that endurance, you were like, well, this will force me to eat because I know if I don't eat, I won't be able to do this activity that's really important to me right now.
And there's the kind of the negotiation of getting older and there's sort of the impact on muscle mass of like, okay, I've never been and I've never wanted to be super muscly.
Yeah.
But the combination of getting a bit older and starting gender affirming hormone treatments, so testosterone blockers and estrogen, which is fantastic, by the way. I mean, oh my God. For me, that's just like the best thing ever. But it does affect your muscle mass. So now I'm thinking like, okay, how much, I can't lose too much.
How do I maintain it?
How do I maintain it? And I just hit a blank wall on that.
Yeah.
Because I'm aware I need to do some weight work. So aerobically, you know, a long history of like endurance athlete, like
it's very different.
Aerobically, I'm good and I'm still good, you know, and I know that. And I've, you know, cardiovascular health is fantastic for someone my age, but
humble brag.
But I think I need to do more kind of strength work, but genuinely terrifies me. And I don't say that lightly. It genuinely, like the thought of going to a gym. Where do you start?
Where do you start? Well, first and foremost, you find a gym, a bit like you have with Zumba, you have to find a space where you feel comfortable. And if that doesn't exist, the second thing you can do is do it with a trainer that at least makes you feel safe in that space. So i.e. there are LGBTQ plus personal trainers. But secondly, you can still do strength work at home. The thing with doing it at home is the financial investment of it in the space. And for me personally, and this is just me, I know there's lots of people who train at home and love it, especially my autistics out there because you don't have to interact with people. I get it. It's also about staying focused at home. You've got to start somewhere. You've got to find somewhere you feel safe. But I think it takes more effort and there isn't as much choice. You have to go out there and really have to hunt for those, you know, LGBTQ plus safe spaces for strength, and they're even less, but they do exist. It's a minefield, isn't it? Everyone's so different and unique and their needs, and
it is. It's like, it's just genuinely one of those spaces where I look at it and just think, no, it's just so kind of like terrifying. And it's like, I don't want to judge people, but to go into a room full of like really kind of henchmen is just like, whoa.
We have very different reactions to those spaces. No. So you came to the event and then you're talking to me about Zumba, and I remember you talking to me about how fitness before had very much been about being competitive and very much about driving hard, and you're like, just need something that's the opposite of that. I guess, what is your relationship with fitness? Like, how has it changed now that you have come out and you're not wanting or feeling the need to punish your body? Like, what is it about Zumba that you like?
I mean, where do you start? So I remember coming out of that and thinking, I have to try this. And there were many reasons for that. One was like, one of the many like amazing things about coming out was actually being able to do things that when I was like performing masculinity, I would have like backed away from.
Yeah.
And one of those things was just going to a club, going to the yard and just dancing, right? And so it was like, actually, this is a bit like, this is dancing, this is kind of, I felt like it's going to tap into that kind of queer joy thing. Yeah. And that felt really important. And that was kind of the thing I thought, I've got to try this, you know. But in terms of like the journey with Zumba, I think, what do I get from it that I don't get before? It's so much fun. It's just, I don't think of it as exercise.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's different now, is I go because I genuinely love it. You know, if I miss a week, it's like, oh, you know, it puts me in touch with my body.
Yeah.
Which is, I think I said to you when I came to that event, is like, I'm looking for ways to try and get into my body after years of kind of locking yourself out of it and not thinking about it because it's too uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was like, I was looking for like, how can I get back into my body? And I tried things like yoga and Pilates, but it was too, I know, I had to think it too, you've got to be perfect. You've got to think about it. You've got to be, and it didn't work. I was too in my head with that.
Yeah.
Whereas Zumba is like, as you've probably seen, I'm not like, but also you don't have to get it right. No. And that's really important as well.
It's really important because I don't get it right, and that is also really important. But what, I guess, made you think, oh, maths classes are a safe space?
I think so. It started from the fact that you were at an LGBT focused event, and I'd met you and we chatted for quite a while.
We did,
and I came out of that thinking, okay, I'm going to try this. And I think that was a Sunday and the first class was on the Tuesday. And I made myself go and book it to think, I'm going to commit to this. I'm not going to give myself time to talk myself out of this. But I do remember that first time coming in. I didn't know what it was going to be like in the room. I didn't know what everyone else was going to be like. And so there is a kind of, I don't know, coming into spaces, there's always a hesitancy. There's always a kind of like desire to put up a bit of a barrier around yourself. But I remember coming in and you were sort of on reception and checking people in, and you just like saw me and you were so happy to see me, and you just immediately started looking after me, and you sort of took me down and showed me the room. But I remember kind of like wanting to just like scuttle in and hide in the corner. That would be my normal reaction in those spaces. But then, like, I think you had to go off and sort of sort something out. But like, I'll go and hide over here. But almost immediately, people were just so welcoming.
Yeah,
and like people were just coming up and chatting, and there was something about that just made me feel like, oh, okay, this is good. This is good. This is okay. This is safe. And it was just that human connection that does it, from you, from other people. And like, I wanted to hide and everyone was like, no, you have to. You
need to see what he's going to do. You know, it's like, you're coming with us.
It's like, and it was just so unexpected.
Yeah.
Not in a sort of judgment on your space, because
I think it's fitness spaces generally.
You know, fitness spaces, I think, going back to where I was before I came out, like I got so into cycling and so into racing that I'd become a coach the organisation that runs cycling in the UK decided that it was going to come out hard anti-trans exclusionary.
Really?
Yeah. And this was before I'd come out.
Okay.
And I was so angry about that for many reasons that I was like, I just kind of like, I can't do this anymore. I can't be associated with this organisation. So I kind of stopped doing that. But I think it kind of gave me this sort of reinforced this message of like, sport is not for queer people, you know. And so you go into any kind of sort of exercise space, sport space, and you think, oh,
Yeah.
but like to find not just that it's not that, but like the complete opposite of that.
Yeah.
I mean, Zumba is, I mean, it's genuinely incredible what you've created there.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm not saying that as like to puff you up, but it is genuinely extraordinary. You walk into that room, I mean, everyone is there, right?
Yeah.
Everyone, all ages, all sexualities, all kind of gender identities, everyone is there. And we're all just getting into it and having fun. It's amazing to find that.
I'm very proud of the community because I remember knowing you were coming, I was like I'd worked hard for years, like especially during Pride Month, to educate the community about all aspects of the LGBTQ plus community, like pronouns and just all the kind of barriers that people face. And I was like, now I am truly going to test this community I've created and see if that's reached people. Because I remember like lots of conversations where people are like, oh, I don't understand it. I'm talking about pronouns here. People are like, I don't understand it. I'm worried about getting it wrong. I went, two things. I went, pronouns. If I ask you to call me Matt and you keep calling me Peter, that's disrespectful. If you forget my name and you go, I'm really sorry, remind me, that's respectful. I'm like, you don't have to understand it. Can you not just respect someone's wishes to call them by what they want to be called by in terms of pronouns, and just be like,
it feels to me it's become a very artificial battlefield, pronouns, because it's, you know, I was one person for a very long time, and now I've shown who I really am, and I have different pronouns. I have a different name, but there were a huge number of people who knew me for a very long time before that, right? And sometimes they got it wrong, and it wasn't deliberate. You know, but if someone was deliberately to misgender me or try and misname me or something like that, that's hostile. Getting it wrong by accident, it happens. No one has a problem with that. But it's now been created that that is a problem, and we'll be terribly offended if you do that. And it's, you know, it's just another sort of weapon in the kind of culture wars, isn't it? And it's not true.
Going back, I guess, to what I was saying, I was like, are these people just going to treat Fiona as Fiona? And what warmed my heart was, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I was like, it was like a proud parent moment. I was like, I just seeing people talking to you and just, it was really cute.
But there's also something about that space where, you know, for me to be who I am and just to be relaxed about that is fine. But everyone in that room, there's so many people in that room that I've got to know who, you know, I love everyone in that room. But everyone can be themselves. Everyone can come and be vulnerable and say, I'm having a bad time. And they get support. And it's incredible. I was telling someone the other day, like, the thing about Zumba is you go, you have fun, you get it wrong. I mean, even last night I turned around and I'm like facing the wrong way to everyone else, and you just laugh. But it felt like there's no point where you get to the end of a Zumba lesson and it's like the worst thing you could do in that room would be oh, you were crap tonight, you were terrible, what was wrong? No one does that. And that's what it's like. It's just,
let it go. You do you, Something that I've noticed has grown within you is kind of like confidence. And I think a pinnacle of that, in my experience, was last year we did United by Love event for Coventry, the LGBTQ plus like community event, and you went on stage and you did Zumba, and I know for you that was an incredibly emotionally significant thing, because I remember you coming off stage being like, I can't believe I just did that And you were crying.
Yeah, I was. I cry a lot. I mean, not just because of the hormones, but like even before I would just cry at anything.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it was huge in terms of so many things, like visibly being myself, and also using my body in public. But also, it was so important in terms of like the community. It was an incredible experience just to be part of that team,
Yeah.
part of that group. And we were all nervous and we were all
Yeah.
looking after each
Even
other.
I was nervous.
And I don't know, just to be so visible and so kind of like publicly like waving my body
Yeah.
about and just being myself and being like, I'm having fun in public.
Dancing.
Just
On
dancing.
stage.
Yeah. And just with everyone else. Everything about that was amazing. In terms of what Zumba's given me, in terms of like being able to just go out in public and do things like that, I mean, that was extraordinary. But like other things like my leggings.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing. I like when I first went to Zumba, I would be like, I've got some big baggy tracksuit trousers and a baggy top and like
In black?
yeah.
Yeah.
Just like hide.
Yeah.
And then after a few weeks, it was like, oh, I'm starting to enjoy this, starting to get into it. And I saw these pair of leggings that were so like, that's the person I want to be. That's so Zumba.
Yeah.
That's who I want to be. That is me.
Yeah.
I'm going to, and they're quite bright. They're quite.
That's an understatement. It's like you've taken acid and you've stared at a kaleidoscope. Sorry, it's not shade.
They feel so right for that room. They feel so right for me in that room. And to be like wearing those on stage and not being subtle, not hiding.
Yeah.
You know, waving my arms about, being like sort of in control of my body, but in a kind of good way.
Yeah.
And that's what's different now. It's like I'm in control of my body mostly.
As much as any of us are.
But in a really good way, not in a punishing it way, in a kind of fun way. It's like, we're having fun with this.
Yeah.
I just genuinely that day. But also, I mean, there were some other moments that maybe so like Pride Week at Zumba is something else. And I don't know why. Because it's the same routines, but there's an elevation, there's a level, there's a joy there. Or even when we all dress up at Halloween, it's just fun. But another moment where I think like Zumba, like the community of Zumba is so important to me and so wonderful. Do you remember the Christmas party last year?
I do remember.
Basically, we ended up in the yard afterwards and we were all having a great time. We were all dancing, but we kind of like, we'd spread around. We were like, I was out on the patio bit, on the outside bit, talking to Craig. And suddenly, Abracadabra came on. And it was like
bat signal.
Yeah, it was like the Zumba bat signal has gone up, and from everywhere in the club, suddenly we all descended on the floor, and basically Matt had done this incredible routine to Abracadabra that we all loved, and suddenly we are all on the floor doing the routine, and he's looking at us like a sort of very proud but slightly embarrassed parent, as like, and it was just this moment of like shared joy. It wasn't planned, it wasn't coordinated, but suddenly everyone was there, and it was just so much fun. The joy and the community, and we were all just like, yeah. It was so special. Good. And going back to that very first time I came in, that first night in Zumba, there was this one moment where suddenly it clicked. Not in the sense that I got it right, but in the sense that I was suddenly like really enjoying my body.
Yeah.
And it was just a kind of like sassy walk with a bit of arm movement. I was like, this is me, this feels right. And it was just like, and that was the point where it's like, I'm in. Yeah, so going in thinking, I want to get back in touch with my body, and suddenly it was like, hello, Sassy Fiona's here, and it was like, I'm having fun now.
Amazing. I mean, one of the questions I've got here is, when do you feel most yourself? It can be multiple things.
Yeah, I mean, definitely in those moments of like
getting to express yourself physically
I mean,
and locking in with the music.
There's a huge joy in like my body now in terms of physically moving it, whether it's Zumba, whether it's going and dancing at the yard.
Yeah.
Which is something I would never have done before. It's like to go and it's like a safe space, but also it's like you just be yourself. And so like that, and Zumba's really enabled that in me to go into those spaces and not worry about what I look like or what other people think.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of joy in that. Before I came out, I really struggled with friendships in terms of I didn't feel comfortable around most men. It's not a space I feel comfortable in. But also, like, so the people I felt were my friends would be women, but you can't be too close to women friends if you're sort of presenting as male, because that is that creepy? Is that I didn't know how to negotiate that. But like coming out and suddenly finding I can have these friendship groups that I always wanted, and I can be me. I mean, that's incredible. You know, I remember coming out to a friend, and she said to me, this is great. We can go out for cocktails now. And so being able to like do that now, like go out for cocktails with my friends, I mean, that's a huge joy. But also, the day-to-day life of just, I get up, I wear what I want, and some days I put my makeup on, and some days I don't, and I can just be me and what I feel in the moment. That's incredible. And I think I have to sort of I just have to sort of talk about my family. I think that the people closest to me in my life who've, you know, I've been with Jules for 40 years now, for her to sort of see me for who I am and accept me, and not just accept it, but to just get to the point of like actually taking joy in this is like, that's extraordinary. And the kids just amazing. Going like, I mean, you know, when you've got sort of teenage kids, actually slightly less embarrassing and slightly cooler to be trans than just to be like a normal dad. But yeah, I think there's so much joy, Matt, that I almost, I'm not saying it's always easy, but like the joy hugely outweighs the negativity. I think I've been out 4 years now. There's challenges to being trans, being openly trans, and there's a huge amount of negativity about it. But I have to say that in my journey over the last 4 years, I've had more people in the street come up to me and say, "Oh, I really like your skirt," than I've had hostility.
That's good.
And that is more a reflection for me of what it's like out there. I mean, it's getting harder and it's not getting easier, but
no,
you know, we'll survive.
Yeah, we will survive. It is incredibly, I'm not going to lie, it's always in the back of my mind how worried I am in 2026 about the way things are going. But when we feel helpless, what I often say to clients and what helps me is we can often feel very powerless and like, how can we change the world? But the point is, I can change the world with my Zumba community and my fitness community. I can change the world by being a safe space for the people in my immediate vicinity. I can, like we do in Pride Month, raise money for charities that support people who need the support. And, you know, I think, not to get morbid, but one of the things I will be proudest of, I think, when I die, God, we are getting dark, how much today? But it's knowing that I've been a positive part of your journey, and like even with like other clients' journey in their life, like I have just in my own small, tiny, and at times it can maybe look insignificant way, but I that's what I have control over basically. Yeah. I can impact my immediate community. I think
that is hugely important, Matt, and it's, you know, you look at the world and it's too big to change, but like you can, the people around you, you can look after them, you can be part of them. And I think what that space has enabled isn't just what it's enabled in that space, it's the confidence it gives me outside that space.
Yeah.
And, you know, the friends, the people I've made, the friends people I've met in that space, the friends I've made in that space, they exist outside that space
Yeah.
as well. So everything gets a bit bigger.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I've got to be really careful about now, is not to shrink, not to isolate myself. I found myself like a couple of weeks ago thinking, oh, I don't know if I want to go to Pride. I don't know if I want to go and be visible.
Yeah.
And it was really hard. I was like really quite scared about going to Pride, not because of going to Pride, but because of like
the actual travel
I have to go on the train and be visible to get there. But it was fine, and it always is fine. And when I got there, it was the usual incredible, like, yeah. But it's getting harder.
I was thinking the other day, like, I don't have a pride flag outside my house, and I would be a bit nervous to do that now.
Yeah.
And that is how that has shifted. But like you're saying, we just have to support each other as best as we can. But also, I think sometimes we can feel almost too much responsibility, and sometimes we do need to cocoon ourselves. And if we're not feeling, it's not our sole responsibility to educate everyone and constantly battling and protesting. I think there's an element of we still have to, it's still okay to not be that, I think, because,
it's quite nice to go to places where you don't feel like your existence is a fight, And I know that for me, for a lot of queer friends, I was in Spain recently, and it was incredible because I wasn't in a queer resort.
Yeah.
But there were openly same-sex couples who felt quite comfortable just holding hands or having a kiss at the back of the beach because we're having a lovely time and it's what you do on holiday. And it was just so relaxed. And it can be like that. And I don't understand quite why it isn't in this country. Even a few years ago, I have friends who are worried about holding their partner's hand in public.
Yeah.
It's just, why?
Yeah. And that's the thing, isn't it? When they like politicize pride and stuff, and they're like, why is pride important? It's like, because we literally have to think about everything we do for fear of persecution, abuse, etc. We're not ramming things down people's throats or changing anything for them. We're saying treat us fairly, treat us equally. You don't understand the privilege. I think people don't understand the privilege we have. They have. Oh, we've got dark, haven't we?
Sorry.
It's fine. It's the reality of our lives right now.
What I'm saying in terms of like the space that Zumba gives me, or when I go to Brighton or somewhere like that, just to be able to just be nothing special is so fantastic.
Yeah. To just be yourself, but that not be a protest or a statement, just to exist. Yeah. What's one thing you're still learning?
Most of the dances.
No, I mean in life. It doesn't have to be.
What's one thing I'm still learning? I mean, so much. I mean, I'm so far behind. This is where I tell you I haven't really watched many RuPaul's Drag Race.
It's all right, you don't have to.
Any musicals?
Oh, we know. You've only just seen your first few musicals. But sorry, that sounded really...
That was so funny. Like, when I mentioned that I'd never seen a musical, like the horror on your face. I'm making up for it big time.
You are. I mean,
I'm genuinely enjoying it. I don't know, what am I still learning? I mean...
Something that happens as queer people is we do have this second adolescence, like where you get to rediscover the world as your authentic self, and it's exciting. There's also a little bit of sadness, I guess, that it's taken us this long to have it, but you kind of have to put that and be like, well, look, any time we've got left is better than no time, if that makes sense.
It's funny, people's reaction to you coming out later in life. Is there a sadness? I don't know, because I came out when the time was right, and I didn't plan it. It's just I happened to be with someone and I felt safe, and I didn't plan it. I just blurted it out because I knew I could, and it was great. and it was amazing. Could I have come out before that? I suppose I could, but would it have worked out like it has?
No.
I don't know. Different
Yeah.
times, we were different people. Would I be where I am now? Because where I am now is like incredible. Genuinely, I can be happy with who I am, and to have that relationship with my body now where I can look in the mirror and think, actually, not bad.
Amazing.
A lot of makeup. But even just like the act of putting on makeup now, it's just part of who I am, and everything is like, I honestly, like, I cannot explain to you. Sorry.
It's okay.
But people talk about trans joy and gender euphoria and like queer joy, and it is genuinely overwhelming to have these moments where you just feel right. I mean, for decades, I probably looked right to the world, but I didn't fit. And now suddenly, I maybe don't look right to the world, but oh my God, do I fit? And it's just incredible. And you get moments of it where you're just right, and it's overwhelming, but in such a great way. You know, I can cry about it now and just be so happy and so euphoric just thinking about where I've got to. Whereas before I would cry and be like, oh my God, I'm never going to be that person. To find you're that person,
it's amazing.
It's incredible. And like having the spaces to just express myself and be me and be whatever the hell I am in Zumba that day, because some days it's better than others. Some days I'll go in and I'm like, I'm just having one of those days where I'm completely out of time, and it's fine.
It's all right.
But it's amazing. It's amazing to get here. So in terms of learning, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I've learned enough. Maybe I just let stuff happen. But it's all good. It's really good. And it's really good because I am surrounded by incredible people that just I never expected to get here.
It's amazing. Do you want my tissue?
Yeah.
I'll get you some. No, I've got tissue there over here. So, final question. What would you say to someone who's waiting for permission to take up space or be themselves?
Oh, wow, that's really hard because you want to say, just do it.
Yeah.
And I would say to you, just do it, right? Just do it. But I also know how hard that can be. But I think take that step, take that first step, you know. Doesn't have to be about coming out, doesn't have to be being big. If you want to do something, if you think that could be fun, then give it a go. Give it a go and be prepared to get stuff wrong and be prepared to grow into it, because there's not enough fun in the world. And if you can do it, take that step. And I think just, be a lighthouse, shine your light out into the world and see who's attracted to it. And those are the people who are important. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Take that first step. I know it's hard, but you're going to have a lot of fun, and you're going to find things you never even thought you would come across. I was aware of Zumba, but I don't think I would ever have thought I'm going to go to Zumba, and not just go to Zumba, but find that it's like the best thing ever.
People often view exercise as a punishment to get a goal, but actually the only time anything's stuck for me, and what I think you've said, is when it feels good. Find something that feels good, that you're not just doing for that end result, for that punishment, for that to earn your food, to try and fit in. Find somewhere where you kind of already fit in, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think that's it. That kind of just explore and see what works for you. And there's so many things about Zumba for me that work. There's the kind of relationship with the body. There's also like the mood aspect of it. So I knew, like, I would often come straight from work to Zumba, and I could have had the worst day at work, But like, I remember thinking once, if I'm not smiling by the time the Venga Boys come on, because you did this warm up, and like after about 5 minutes, it hit the Venga Boys, and I was like, if I'm not smiling by the time Venga Boys came on, it's like I always
something's really wrong.
Like, it was always like that. I was always so it's like it's that mood. Yeah, whatever works. And like I said earlier, I stopped. I don't think of it as exercise now. I just think of it as like, it's Zumba, it's fun, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, and even like last night when we came out last night, and we got in the car, and Roxanne said to me, she said, like, I know I say it every week, but I feel so much better for that. And you do. Just find what gives you that lift.
Yeah. Quick fire, tea or gin?
Oh, gin.
Gin, okay. Yeah. Car karaoke song?
At the moment, I'm having a very karaoke relationship with Chapel Roan.
Okay.
And it would probably be after midnight because of the sheer queer joy of that. That's all about queer spaces.
Amazing. Amazing. Favourite musical of the two you've seen?
I've seen more. I'm going to see one tonight. 100% Wicked.
Okay.
Absolutely incredible.
Okay.
But also...
The film or the stage show? Got to pick one.
Oh, stage show, because I cried a lot. But I just remembered I went to see Six the other week, and Six is also...
It's up there, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Cycling lycra or rainbow leggings?
Oh, rainbow leggings every time.
Yeah. Favourite biscuit?
Ooh... Custard cream.
Custard cream.
Custard cream.
Strong choice. Strong choice.
Nice sugary hit.
Because I think on Craig voted for malted milk when I spoke to him.
Ooh,
and I have trauma with malted milk that
like
I think we'll talk about on the podcast.
Nan biscuit.
It's a man biscuit.
No, nan. Nan biscuit.
Nan! I was like
how much is malted milk?
So much, because they've got a cow on the front. One word your friends would use to describe you.
Chaotic? No, I think the word that people have used to me is, oh God, it's not humble brag, but I've just retired from work and I got a lot of lovely messages, which is where I thought is caring. I worry about people and I try and look after them, possibly too much sometimes, but yeah, that was a word that came out, and I was very happy about that.
Well, thank you, Fiona, for joining me and for being so open and sharing your journey, because there's so much all of us can take away and learn from your story, and I think it's actually really inspirational. Because, so I'm going to make about me for a second, like people, like I came out at 13 and people are like, oh, you're so great. I'm like, at 13, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. I'm like, I obviously did, but didn't. Do you know what I mean? It's almost easier for me because I haven't built up all those years of people thinking they know me and having their expectations projected onto me. I only had 13 years of that. Whereas I think I have so much admiration and respect, and think you are way braver than I could ever be.
Oh, really? That is lovely to hear, and I do thank you for that. But I do feel like, I think the other way around. Oh. I think it's really hard. I mean, particularly now, I think it's so hard to come out queer as a kid, because at least when I came out, I was secure in a job and I had relationships and I had people who knew me, and I was able to sort of be myself more in those spaces. Whereas I think to come out as queer and then have to kind of create spaces and relationships, that feels really intimidating.
But I almost feel like I had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
We can argue about this till the cows come home. I was trying to say something nice, Fiona. Let me finish on that.
And I love you for it. And
finger, we need to do the wicked one. Finger. I do it with everyone. Put your finger out. There we are. We're holding space. Did you try and pull away? Wow. I'm going to try and be nice again. Finally met someone with colder hands than me.
It's summer. Of course I got cold hands. It's raining. It's cold. It's raining. It's freezing.
It's in the UK. So yeah. But no, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it.